And I just want to make sure I get my logo over your chat window because I don't like
Oh, that's
showing the chat window because that's kind of like a little sometimes private stuff.
I can
Okay,
do that. I'm not going to receive IMs on this guy. But yeah, this is my alt account guy. I'm just picking some of the heraldries and stuff off of him.
perfect.
Okay,
I'm
so
all
here,
tuned in.
Just as a
all right.
note, real quick, I like to have a separate tab on my chat window that I can just click to, and it has literally nothing in it. It's just a useful thing sometimes.
All right, so here's the selection box for the different heraldries. Now there are different recipes that you can actually execute once you've scribed it, but I'm not able to see all of those. It's only going to show the first one in each one. So here's outgoing healing modifier, heraldry, tactical
So
mastery,
do they
and
come in sets or are
they
they?
come in sets. So you see these have like two-piece set bonus, but those are the same set bonuses that are available in the Word of Craft.
Okay.
And some of those are the Word of Craft that you can just buy at the Rivendell Tracery Library.
So although it says item level 450, um,
That's its base level. It will not go into a weapon slot unless it's 450 plus.
okay.
So
But
you have to at least be that far along with your LI reforging, but now we're up to 480. So it'll go up to 480 once you slot it in.
okay, so once you slot it, it changes.
Right.
And you can only get teal, you can't get gold?
You can get gold if you crit the recipe whenever you do make it, and we'll see that
Okay.
here in just a moment. So
Okay,
I'm not going
sorry.
to do. Oh no, it's no problem. I'm just kind of looking at the different things there, so that they come up for anybody reviewing the video.
So that one's got physical mastery and vitality. That's pretty nice for a hunter.
So what we're actually looking for here for our hunter is going to be the heraldry of the keen eagle. Um, Now it's actually it's heraldry of precision recipe, but we're going to make something different than eagle. It's going to be the either scorpion or sparrow. I'm thinking it might be sparrow for extra vitality, but we'll look at that here in a moment. So I'm going to go ahead and select this. It's the precision.
So, question, how do you know what all the options are for each recipe? Has
So the
some.
thing,
Universe.
the bonus is going to stay the same. Like that plus 3% critical hit chance bonus is going to be the same for all the recipe. What's going to change is going to be the actual heraldry part, like the eagle, ox, sparrow, serpent, that sort of thing is going to be what you select differently in the selection part of the actual
So, I guess
craft.
I'm confused.
I'll show you here in just a moment. So let me go ahead and select this. The precision
Okay.
one is what I
We'll
need for
just
my.
walk me through it. Maybe it'll make more sense once I see it.
It hopefully will. So this is now a tradable recipe.
Mm hmm.
Uh, and then I'm going to go ahead and use the craft one. And the one that we want for that is, well, there's two of them. I've actually already have the focus one, but the focus is the bonus that has -5% to all skill inductions. And the gold one, I think, is 8%. We'll look at that here in a moment as well. But I'm not going to pick that here because I already have those. The other one that we want for the hunter is this plus 2.4% tactical crit multiplier.
Okay. Makes sense.
So I'm going to go ahead and pick that here. And because it's because it's valuable stuff, I want to actually go trade it rather than mailing it because I've seen things get lost in the mail. Sorry, I could have had old Choppy already moved.
So, Doggy, you said that there's some information available on Ginverse. Which channel should I look at?
Yeah, so I actually just did in the thread that we made earlier in Master. I just linked the area there, the Traceries channel on his page.
Okay.
And then under his thing called Heraldric Traceries, he has a couple of links. And then under Word of Craft Traceries, he has a couple of links. And it pulls up pictures to all of the new ones that are optional.
World of Craft, I see. Okay.
I think there's two links, one for gold and a different one for teal. Yeah.
Okay. I got it. All right.
So that's a place that you can see all of
See
the
all of them,
options.
all the options.
Because I will specify there are some heraldry types that you cannot get certain set types with.
Okay.
I want to make sure that's clear. Because it is somewhat limited. You can't just mix and match everything.
So, like, you can do the healing set, or the willpower set, or the recovery set, or the armor set, is what you're saying.
Yeah, so for a specific example, like with the heraldries, there
Mm
is no heraldry of the bear that has the Takmit set.
hmm. Mm hmm.
Heraldry of the bear can either do the outgoing healing or the incoming healing.
Mm hmm.
Heraldry of the ox can do either the Takmit or the Fizmit, but you can't mix and match between them. Does that make sense?
So, what I'm seeing here on Ginverse is only has tactical mid. So, where are you getting the fizz mid from? Oh, sorry, it was down below.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, like, the willpower craft set, right? There's
Mm-hmm.
the heraldry of the ox that has a tactical mid, but the heraldry
Mm-hmm.
of the sparrow also have tactical mid.
But there's no heraldry of the owl that has tactical mit. It doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an option.
Okay. But
Yeah.
could you mix like the heraldry of the ox with the heraldry of the sparrow? Because they're both willpower craft set.
Technically, yes. You just wouldn't want to because one of them's might and one of them's agility. Yes, you could.
You could if you
You
wanted
would get
to,
the
but
set
it doesn't
bonus.
make sense.
Correct.
Okay.
Exactly.
It doesn't make sense because of class builds. Okay.
Exactly.
I gotcha.
Yep.
Okay, so I think I've got everything that I need to get started here. Actually, let me pull up.
Which crafting tune are you on? What's your
This is
crafting?
my scholar, or
Okay.
yeah. So I also need. Hold on, make sure I'm grabbing the right thing. There's so much trash that comes out with all of this stuff. So for my heraldry, yeah, I'm doing the precision. So let me grab the other precision. Okay, so what I've got here is two heraldry of precision recipes. Um, and those are made by Weaponsmith. Yeah. And then I've got the two Words of Craft Tactics recipes. And I'm going to crit one of them for the legendary, the gold version. And I'm going to purposely not crit the other so that I will get a teal. So the way I'm going to do that is just to start by getting the non crit and then using the universal optional ingredient for the crit.
So why would you want one gold and one teal? Why don't you want
Okay,
both
I can
gold?
show you. I can show you exactly why here. So you see these two traceries. Let me. They are roughly identical. These are the focus ones. I already have them made. But if you look, they say unique use. So you can only use one
Oh,
gold one and one teal one because they are unique and different, being different quality.
okay.
So there's not actually a set bonus for those. You automatically get it just from having the thing initially, right?
But it's word of craft, so
Right. So the two of
Okay.
them do function as a pair, basically,
Mm-hmm.
and it gets you a total of 13% induction.
Okay.
And it's going to be the same thing with this other word of craft, right? So if you see, it shows the plus 2.4% tactical crit multiplier. I'm not sure what the crit version is. Let's actually find that out.
3.6. It's half as much more.
So I just scribed the recipe. Now that's actually Scholar. So all it takes is ancient script to actually do the crafting. And here is, yeah, the gold version. It shows 3.6.
So how do you ensure that you're gonna crit? You're gonna use the universal option. Okay. That gives you
And I have
100%.
16 of them myself, but you can farm those by doing turn-ins,
Yeah.
the S turn-ins.
Task turn-ins, yeah. Weeklies.
Just a quick question. How much do you want me to chime in or not during this?
As much as
That's
you
fine.
want.
Okay. Then let me very quickly just chime in something that I already put in the thread, is that if people are specifically wanting to not crit one of the words of craft, the best way that I'm aware of at the moment is to just use one of the very basic tools that you can get from a supplier or provisioner, I forget which, to get you down to only 5% chance of critting. As far as I'm aware, that's the lowest possible chance to crit. If you specifically want the teal version to stack with the gold.
That's a very good point to mention that. I would not
So
have
right
thought
there
of
is the
that.
scholar's tool for it.
Yeah.
I mentioned that especially because I actually did that and knew ahead of time about it. And I did two because I had two characters that wanted both. I did two, and one of my 5% ones actually crit.
Well, that's why I was actually going to start with doing the non-crit
E-
uh, attempt
exactly.
first, and
Yeah.
then use the guaranteed thing.
Yes. Good.
But yeah, anyway, so here's where we can actually. This is Word of Craft, so it does not have a variant. It only has its base stats, right? Tactical crit multiplier and critical rating. It's not ever going to have something like the heraldries do. So
Hmm.
we'll look at that here in a moment.
No set bonuses. It's just straight up.
I think of it as it being its own set on its own by itself.
Mm.
So
That's just me.
there's, yeah, there's the teal version that I wanted. And just checking that should guarantee me the gold.
So what you're saying is now you can stack both of those onto the
Yeah,
same weapon.
yeah. So instead of just 3.6%, I'm getting another 2.4 added on top of that. So
How
yeah,
sure are you of that? Because
uh,
that seems
Very.
to me like something that they would change.
Yeah.
uh,
Um,
it's
I
been verified that it does work and that it's working as intended. So
correct.
Hmm.
We got a message, or at least somebody posted a message from the forums by Orion, I'm pretty sure it was, saying that it had been decided before he had arrived that these were such small bonuses that they were to be allowed to stack.
Okay, that is good to know. Because
Yep,
I remember chatter earlier in this week that people were
correct.
wondering about whether that was going to be legit or not.
Correct. I had the same exact worry.
Okay.
so here's the flip side. So we're now doing heraldry. Here, I want to crit both. I want because they're not unique, right? You want
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
best of them. So, and this is also where we can select different versions. So this is the Keen Eagle by default, and that's willpower and vitality. And here's Serpent, that's agility and vitality,
Back.
and Lion. But there is no Sparrow, so apparently I have to go with the Serpent for this. Such is life, I suppose.
So do me a favor, just hit the H key real quick. I wanted to see what the stats are on it.
Oh, here. The stats are basically the same as a gold Heraldry of the Serpent,
Okay.
except for the set bonus down there that adds plus 3% to crit hit chance.
Okay. So it's the set bonus that everybody is after.
That's the whole thing you gain with the crafted heraldry. Yeah.
Okay. Can you once again remind me um uh, how you got the gold versus the teal
Uh,
recipe?
the recipes are always the teal version. The thing that makes them
Oh,
gold
it's
is
whether
the
you're critting
critical.
or not. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yes. Looks like you're gonna have two serpents.
Yeah, I'd rather have had Sparrow for the extra vitality, but
Mm.
whatever. It is what it is. And so now I just put these in my shared storage, and they're going to go on the hunter here shortly. And I will be running him through some paces of before and after parsing to see exactly what changes with different things being added.
Okay.
But that's just for my own fun and enjoyment.
Okay. So the question then just becomes what is going to be the best for the different classes, right?
Pretty much. And
Okay.
I'm not. So, first of all, we can all relatively agree that a hunter should have the plus 3% crit hit chance
Mhm.
because that's upper cap, right? But even without that bonus, Harriman went ahead and slotted these tactics and focus word of craft and lost his crit bonus until he gets his heraldries sorted. But his DPS still went up from losing that 3% bonus because of all the other things that are going on. And so he's actually over 400k DPS on the dummy right now. I'm jelly.
So you get total of 5 words of craft slots, right? So
Four
you
for now.
words of craft.
Crafted two on each. It's the words of power
Oh,
that you
okay.
get three on one, two on the other.
Okay. I gotta pull up my tune builder.
Right.
Oh,
Um,
okay. So this is gonna replace heroic precision, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Or that slot on the
You
left.
still get that bonus, but you're taking out the actual heroic precisions because that's now being taken care of with your heraldry. And the
Okay.
reason why you have to do that for the hunter is because the two other things that you want are only on the words of craft.
Okay, I see. So what people are doing is they're using the sorry, could you open your inventory again?
Oops, sorry.
Just highlight this for me again.
and
Here,
just as an just for argument's sake, not everyone's doing that.
Yeah, so you've got Gundabad, Word of Craft, Focus, Teal, and then you've got the same one, but you've got the gold. And then on the other one, you've got Gundabad, Word of Craft, Tactics, Teal, and then the same one, but gold. And then for the heraldry, you got the serpent because that's what you ended up with, but you really want the sparrow, right?
I wanted the sparrow, but I couldn't get the sparrow. The precision set only comes for the DPS type of heraldries, the ones that have a higher main stat than vitality. Whereas the
Okay.
sparrow, the ox, and I forget what the other one is. Anyway, their vitality is generally higher than their main stat.
Okay.
And so then I'll just mention in here that's why some people have decided to instead go only two of the new words of craft, and then keep both precision, and then put the sparrow tackmet heraldries in to get a lot more survival instead of more damage on the other words of craft.
I got you.
That's true, but you then lose the focus thing that gets your bleeds ramped up on their damage. So I don't know what's right there, or not focus, but the tactics rather.
Exactly. Yeah, it's one or the other. You kind of get to decide. You can either go more damage oriented, or other people are going more survival oriented.
I also reckon it depends on, what your current base stats are. Like, my morale right now is almost 1,000,000. So I could probably sacrifice a little bit of morale in order to get the extra damage.
An
Well, to
option.
be fair, if you've got uh, sparrows in and you switch over to the serpents, it's going to be of quite a bit of vitality drop.
Correct.
Hmm.
Yeah, so it's like I said, it's
I
one or the
gotcha.
other. It's full damage, or it's some more damage than you had, plus some more survivability. It's one or the other, is the two schools of thought at the moment.
I gotcha.
And I'm certainly of the defensive school of thought on my bird, but for
Right.
my hunter, I try to make him
Yeah.
just do as much as I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm.
I think that's how most people will be.
Most people will probably want to just make their hunter as much DPS as possible. Now,
Right.
with the latest, Orion had his talk on Friday, and they were saying about the fact that they're gonna try and make each class do some DPS, but their plan is to make the hunter the king of DPS, and kind of like the champ will be second. Um, so I think even more pushing in terms of their engineering and design, they're going to be pushing the hunter even more towards being a DPS only. Which I wonder if they're gonna make like the yellow line of the hunter. Oh, what's the word? Um,
Utility.
yeah, thank you, Jay. Make it a utility line versus making it a pure trap line. Because I know very few people that run pure yellow line. Most people always swap back to red.
Well, what's interesting is like really all no matter what you pick with Hunter, you're typically always dipping into the other colors for something. So
Mhm.
Hunter is one of those that's interesting to me because like
There's some survivability over in the yellow line, right?
there's survivability in yellow, there's survivability in blue, but what I guess the my hot take, and I'm sure people will tell me I'm wrong for thinking this, but like to me the lines are not distinct enough to say, oh yeah, Blue Hunter outside of like okay, Blue Hunter can run around and do inductions. That's great. What else can Blue Hunter do? Like it's not like the difference between a tank line, a heal line, a DPS line, a support line. Like all the Hunter lines are DPS. So it'll be interesting
Right.
if they do decide to cut down and trim the trees down for hunters and how that's going to look because
Mhm.
yes, their focus has always been DPS, but are they going to take yellow line and turn that into the utility and you dip into that to get your survivability and your different traps? Or are they going to make blue line the line you dip into for
Mm.
utility where you get your survivability, your
And
different bonuses
movability.
and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's one that I cannot really foresee how that's going to change
Right.
given how brawler and mini are now going to look. Other classes it's way more obvious what they're probably going to do, but for me for hunter it's not because
Hmm.
there are not multiple directions that class currently goes.
Unless they move some of the utility stuff that's currently in blue line over to yellow line.
I hope they get rid of the burglar red spec.
Because in the mini, what they did is they took some of the skills that were in yellow and moved it over to blue.
Right, which made sense.
It did because they need the healing stuff got moved over, which made total sense. Um, but then they left the tactical mitigations and stuff like that in yellow. What were you gonna say, Jay?
I was probably going to say something.
Basically, just that it's harder to tell on Hunter. That's
Yeah.
all.
All that to be said, I'm actually really excited to see the direction they go in with this because I mean,
Yeah.
like I've been playing since beta, so I was there when you would go to a bard to pick your legendary traits, and that would determine what cool skills you get to take with you in instances. And so I've been through a couple of the different changes in the game, and so I'm at peace with them deciding this is the direction they want to go with the classes. I think that it's cool evolution, and it should ideally help refine the classes and make it so that more specs are useful and valid for the classes.
Hmm.
Like hopefully this means that for champ, depending on which direction they go for champ. Like let's say for example they wanted it to have a tank line and a DPS line, and then that the utility would be the third part. That'd be kind of cool. And then hopefully, ideally, maybe champ tank would actually be a viable tank option. Which I
Yeah.
mean, it it is in certain cases right now, but you know what I mean, like more widely accepted. Whereas or maybe if they decide to split between the two DPS lines and get rid of tanking, have single target be just as strong as AOE instead of being lagging behind. So it'll be
You
interesting to see
just
how it happens.
you just have to find one of the 4 decent champ tanks on the server. That's all.
All according to some people, that's all you got to do for any of the classes. But
So I have a fundamental hunter question that's been bothering me. Um, and that is when I use Rain of Arrows, the amount of damage done to if it's a single target that I'm hitting versus the amount of damage that I'm doing if there's multiple targets. Is that amount of damage the same? Or is it more like the more ads I have around me when I'm doing the rain of arrows, the more damage I'm doing than if I only have a single target that I'm doing the rain of arrows on?
The
You're talking
damage
about
isn't
like
split
CA?
out.
Are you talking about like comment analysis?
Yes, well, just the amount of damage that I'm doing.
Well, if you hit
Oh,
4 targets with your rain of arrows, you're going to do 4 times as much damage with it as you
right.
would hitting only one. It's not like all of the arrows just go into the one target and you do more damage to it or something like that. So you are going to do
Okay.
more against multiple targets whenever you have that opportunity, but the bleed that's applied with your 4 set is worth it to use on a single target because it just adds more bleed.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I want. That's what I thought, but I wanted to confirm. Okay. Do you guys mind if I share this video here on Brand New Wipe with everyone?
I don't mind a bit.